also is online. I'm Alison Tickell. I'm a middle-aged white woman, fair hair, clipped up. I have glasses when I need to read.
I think there's
and my
this is Alison's
So how much has changed since we first put on a Week Make Tomorrow event in February 2020, and how glad I am to be here with you again. I'm grateful to everyone for making the effort to be here in the room, and also for those of you who are joining online, because sometimes showing up at the moment really doesn't feel as easy as it was 2 years ago. Before I start, I want to thank the Arts Council, who have been unstinting in their support for putting on this event, and to Julie's Bicycle, who are our main sponsors, our other sponsors, and our creative partners, Anthony Simpson-Pike, who we'll see more of later, Maya and the Nest Collective, who've really helped to breathe the creativity and energy into today. During this difficult time, so many of you have rallied around to one another, to climate, to nature, and perhaps especially to justice and to fairness, because we are together now entering the storm, and we know it. Shocking, unplanned obstacles to being the way we used to be have become too familiar, and many people in this space today will be wondering some of the basics, how to pay the bills for the next year, how just to get through. And there is no doubting that the next few years will be really tricky. So for us, it's been an extraordinary relief to bring together this group of really important voices and creative ideas. We've oriented the day not around urgency, not around crisis, but instead found our energy in care, attention, and love. And it isn't hard to find. We have encountered so many people, including the many creative climate leaders who are with us today, the hundreds of arts organisations that we've worked with, and many other people that we have met along the way. People are drawn to this work because of it. We could do 10 times more We Make Tomorrows in 10 times more cities, and we would still be but there would still be thousands of people to hear and to celebrate. Being in good company is how we will get through this, and in solidarity with the many communities and the many people who are already deeply and profoundly in the storm. In a couple of weeks, COP27 is taking place in Egypt, the next round of climate talks already upon us. While the results will disappoint us, and inevitably they will, for the first time, culture, the arts, heritage, creative community will have a formal presence in the room. Because culture needs to be part of every single conversation and every single solution to the climate and justice crisis. We're not there yet, but I think that in 2 years or so, culture will have a formal delegate presence within the COP talks. And I think this is really important. We need to be there because ultimately we will not get through this moment and all the intersectional issues that lead to and from the climate, nature and justice crisis with the bullying, the relentless transactionality that is how we have had to navigate our way to where we are. We have a much better chance of reaching where we need to be with the voices of love. And today, at least, we can weather the storm together. There is so much to listen to. There is so much to love. And on that note, I'm going to bring one of our lovers, Anthony Simpson-Pike, who is going to take us through today. I won't introduce Anthony except for to say that if you haven't heard of him, it's worth a dive. He currently has a hit at the Bush Theatre with his, he directed The P Word. So it's over to you.
Thank you. I can only be a disappointment after that introduction. The climate crisis is also a crisis of the imagination, because we live in a structure that makes it impossible to imagine otherwise. So over the course of today, I've prepared a kind of imagination workshop that has a series of prompts to do throughout the day. You'll hopefully have been given one of these cards, endangered culture cards. Have people generally been given that? Yeah. And on that, there'll be a different animal, plant, land, or language that is endangered, which is your special responsibility for the day. And the prompts are just there to help you hold that special responsibility in mind over the course of the day. At the top, so this one's the common wasp. At the bottom, you'll see some information about why it's endangered. At the top, you'll see some prompts. However, those prompts will only make sense if you go to the bit.ly link. To people, let's do that collectively now. So if you get out your phone. And in the top right-hand corner is the link. When you go to that link, the imagination workshop is there, and there are different timings of when to consider different sections. There are 3 different sections. I'll read the first one and then leave the others up to you. Imagine you're in a parallel universe where everyone is given a responsibility to take care of a special part of it. Animal, plant, land, or language. You will have been allocated a card that will remind you of yours. Your task is to consider how everything you're hearing or doing today relates to your specific responsibility. Over the course of the day, keep your card in mind and follow the prompts. In your universe, there exists a ritual people use to explore ideas, alone or in collaboration. They create moments, objects, music, and pictures that communicate something about being alive. Other community members are invited to engage with this practice, and in fact, it's only when others come together to communally experience it that it takes on its full power. People gather to invest in the ritual, and crucially, they do something they wouldn't usually. They accept things can happen that would be impossible in real life. For a moment, they choose to believe in the impossible. The ritual can move the viewer, inspire them to action, or just provide a moment of calm. At its most powerful, it can even change a community. They call it storytelling in this universe, and you are also engaged in this practice, helping it to happen or performing it yourself. Prompt 1, how would you use this ritual in your community if it really existed? So there are 2 more sections to think about. As we get to them over the course of the day, you'll see them there. And it can be a really personal thing. It's a very gentle imagination workshop, but it will culminate in a collective act of imagination at the end of the day. So please do engage with it if you can. Thank you.